welcome back. Oh, sick! Alright, so it's a new day. As you saw in the previous clip, I've removed the wheels, so the bike is just floating here. I've taken the wheels off because I want to remove, well actually I want to get the tyres removed, I want to remove the rim tape, I want to take the brake rotors off, the rear sprocket as well. First of all, shout outs to all the fellow VTR 250 owners for the comments on the previous videos. So if you are a VTR owner and you haven't taken your wheels off before, just be a bit careful when removing, say, removing the front wheel. This here is your speed sensor, I don't know what you'd call it, your speed sensor wheel, I guess. First of all, when you remove the wheel, before you do, you have to remove the speedo cable. Just be a bit careful because you don't want to rip that off. So you want to undo this little Phillips head screw here. I've just put it back in so I don't lose it. But also when you remove the wheel, this thing's just sitting there so it falls out. So just be a bit careful. And same with the rear wheel, that just pops out as well. So you don't want to lose that. So I just pop everything back in where I got it. And I want to remove all that stuff, get the tires removed. I think the previous owner had painted these wheels. So I want to try and make the job easier for my painter. And I want to try my hand at removing that paint on those wheels. What else? So yeah, I've removed the wheels, I've put everything back, like rear axle back in just to hold everything up, like this brake caliper bracket, because as soon as you take the rear axle out, everything falls off. So and same with the front, I have chucked the front axle back in there as well. Also, a few people were commenting and asking what headlight shroud did I use. I've actually utilised the standard headlight shroud. I just measured the old headlight, bought a headlight of the same size, and it's gone in there. There's a bit of finessing to get it all in there and stuff, but look, it can be done and it does work. So yeah, in this video, as you can probably see from the title of this video, I am painting my brake calipers. You can do this on the bike. However, I'm going to remove the brake calipers from the bike because I believe that working on parts and stuff like that, such as brake calipers, it's much easier to work off a bench with those type of things. And for anyone who's building a bike on a budget, you know, there's a lot of things that I can't do. I don't consider myself a bike builder. You know, there's a lot of things that I can't do, like I cannot remove this giant dent out of the tank, and you know, I'm capable of painting small things like brake calipers, but I'm not capable of doing proper, you know, resprays of an entire bike. So if you're on a budget, you can do a few things, you know, one, to save money, and two, to be able to do it yourself. So something like painting brake calipers, I think, is quite easy. You can do it with aerosol cans, providing, you know, you use the right preparation techniques and the right types of paint, like heat paint and stuff like that. So yeah, in this video, I'll be removing the brake calipers from the bike. I'll be removing the brake pads from the calipers. I'll then be giving them a good clean, a good scuff, a good clean again, masking them up, spraying them with high temp primer, because obviously brakes get hot. So I'll be spraying them with high temp primer, and then I will be spraying them with high temp paint and then high temp clear. Yeah, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to disconnect the brake line from the caliper. I'm going to disconnect the caliper from the bracket that's attached to the front forks, and remove the brake pads. I'm going to do the same thing here with the rear brake, and then we're going to give it a clean. I just stopped at Bunnings on my way home from the gym and picked up this brake cleaner. It was like $6.90 from Bunnings. I'll do sort of I'll probably hit the calipers with some degreaser first, just some, you know, this was cheap as well from Super Cheap Auto Workshop degreaser. So I'll hit it with the degreaser, clean it off, hit it with the brake cleaner, clean it off, go through all the other steps and show you guys as I'm going along how to prep the calipers for paint. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to remove the bolts for the brake line first, and then I'll remove the caliper from the bracket here. If you haven't worked with brake fluid before, it is very corrosive, so I will find something, whether it be a bottle or a plastic bag, if you can even find a plastic bag in this day and age, and I will zip tie. So once I take the bolt out and take the line off, I'll quickly chuck the line or the bag over the line, and then I'll zip tie that so there's somewhere for the brake fluid to go into, and I'll do the same with the rear brake also. So I have a 12mm socket, that's for the brake line, banjo bolt, whatever you want to call it. I've got two large sandwich bags to put around the line once I've removed it to collect the brake fluid, and a couple of zip ties to zip tie the bags to the lines. Like I said in the last clip, it is corrosive, so I'm not sure how these bags are going to go, but I'll just use it as a temporary thing until the fluid drains into the bags, and then I'll maybe remove them at a later date. So I'm going to set this tripod up, and we're going to crack this this bolt on the brake line. So just like I said, we've removed the line from the caliper, put the bag around it, and just going to zip tie the bag onto the line, and there you have it. And it's collecting any spilt a little bit, but we'll clean that up. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these two bolts, which appear to be the two bolts that are holding the caliper onto the bracket on the fork. So I'll go ahead and remove those right now. And just an FYI, these are also 12mm. Alright, it's one bolt. It's got a bit of Loctite on there. That's why the thread feels a bit sticky still. And what I'm going to do just for now, so I don't lose anything, is I'm just going to stick these bolts back into the fork just so I don't lose them. But there you have it, front brake caliper is off. I'm going to now move to the rear and repeat the same process. Currently at the back of the bike with the rear, I'm going to do it a bit differently. As you can see, the brake line is sort of held here by these little clips, these two clips, one there, one there. I could take those off, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of do it a bit backwards. So I'm going to remove the caliper before I remove the brake line itself. Once I remove the caliper from the swing arm here, I can then hang the caliper down, which will bring, you know, the line will hang down also, which, you know, gravity, the fluid will run out, and I can do the same thing with the sandwich bag. So let's get into it. so that's that caliper off. Okay, so there it is. We've got the rear caliper, front caliper off the bike. What we're going to do is we're going to give it a super good clean. We're going to give each caliper a good scuff with a green scouring pad, and then we'll hit it with the primer, we'll hit it with the colour, and then before we do the clear, as you can see here, we've got these raised logos, right? There's that one there. That one there. So what I want to do is I want to paint the colour, which I haven't told you guys what it is just yet. I want to paint the calipers in the colour that they're going to be. Wait till that colour paint dries, and then I want to ever so gently hit this with a sanding block, each logo with a sanding block, to expose it back to bare metal. So you'll have the colour of the caliper, then a nice shiny silver logo, and then I'm going to clear over it. But without further ado, let's get into cleaning these calipers and get them ready for paint. Okay, so for right now, I've just done a quick clean with the brake cleaner and a brush. Just letting these sort of dry off at the moment, because I'm going to give them another clean with some degreaser and some brake cleaner and a brush again. As you can imagine, for a 25-year-old bike, you know, carbon buildup in certain areas is quite hard to get off, so I'm going to probably clean these, dry them, clean them again, dry them again, so a couple more times cleaning before I start scuffing. Once the scuffing's done, I will mask off and then I will prime. I've just picked up some of this high heat, it's up to 200 degrees Celsius engine enamel primer. This will be good enough for the brakes. I can't foresee myself getting the brakes on this 250cc motorcycle anywhere near 500 degrees. So yeah, I'll come back once these are cleaned, scuffed, masked and ready to prime. Alright, so essentially I've masked off any bits that I don't want painted. Make sure you get a good quality masking tape, because as you can see by the bits of masking tape peeling off right there, I got a pretty shit quality masking tape, but it should do the job. So I've masked everything off that I don't want painted, and now I'm going to hit it with primer. So I've done one coat of primer so far, just a light coat. I just wanted to sort of test. I did a pretty half-assed job at cleaning them with the brake cleaner and stuff, but I just wanted to do a quick light coat first, and then once this is dry, we'll hit it with a second coat, and if I've covered everything evenly, then that'll be good for colour. Alright, well, I've hit it with a second coat. Everything's pretty well covered in primer. So yeah, I'm going to do the, that's the front caliper, I'm going to do the rear caliper. I'm going to let those dry for a few days. Once they're dry, I'm going to hit them with the colour. I think I'm just going to do them silver. What I'm thinking is I want to do this as easy and as less hassle as possible. So because the frame and the rear sets are already silver, I think what I'm going to do is try and polish up the frame with like a Dremel, just to get rid of any marks like that one there and that one there. Probably get the rear sets resprayed in the same silver. I've removed the pinstriping off the wheels, and I think I'm going to get the wheels done in silver also, and leaving the forks black. So basically I'm going to have a black fork with a silver wheel, and I think I'm going to spray the calipers silver also. And while I'm here, I guess I'll just let you know, originally I wanted to strip this whole bike down, but you know, I'm itching to ride it as well, so kind of semi-impatient. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this cover, repaint this cover and the cover on the other side, and then send the wheels and the tank, the belly pan, the front fender, the front headlight cowl off to get painted. Once they're all done, I can fit everything, obviously, except the seat, because I need to get the Cafe Racer seat and subframe done. So do everything that I can get done here at home, or I can send out, get painted and refit myself here at home. Once all that's done, I can send the bike maybe to Ella Speed, or maybe I can have a go myself at doing this subframe and seat combo. So yeah, I'll come back once these calipers are dry and ready for some silver paint. Okay, so just went to Autobahn, picked up some of this caliper paint. The colour is aluminium. I mean, that's the colour of the paint, I'm guessing, is the colour of the cap, like a metallic silver. And then I've got some caliper clear gloss. So let's get to painting these calipers. Alright, so it's winter here in Queensland, and it rained last night, so I wouldn't advise painting in this type of weather, but the sun's come out and it should be alright, so I'm going to give it a go. With a light, just a light coat first over the primer. That was the rear caliper, I'll just do that much for now. And now onto the front caliper. Alright, so I've done the first coat of the silver. I think it looks pretty good. What I'm going to do once this is dry is I'm going to carefully, with this logo here, carefully brush it with some of my wife's nail polish. I don't know if she has red though. I wanted to brush that logo with red before I lay the clear over it. So yeah, I'll do a few more coats of this. I'll come back when it's time to hit the logos with some nail polish, then we'll clear it, and then that'll be the end of the video. Alright guys, so as you can see, the paint's dry on the calipers and I've hit the logos with gold paint. I did try and use red nail polish, but unfortunately the nail polish was the viscosity of the polish, like it was too thin and watery, so it didn't quite work, so I just hit the logos with a paint pen. As you can see, today the weather's pretty shit, and like I always say, I don't recommend painting in this type of weather. I just want to get the clear coat on the calipers so they can dry from now. I think it's like 9 in the morning right now. So I want to paint the calipers with the clear coat so they can dry from now until tomorrow, where I will be refitting the calipers to the bike. So I think they'll look pretty cool up against the black fork. I want to refit the calipers to the bike and see how it looks. So yeah, I'm going to hit them with the clear and go from there. Alright guys, so you can see clear coat's been laid. You can see there, just there, still a bit of brake fluid leaking, so that's a bit annoying, but we'll see how that pans out. The brake fluid's pretty corrosive, so it might ruin the paint. What can you do when you're doing a brake job at home? So that's the brake calipers done. I'll get some close-up shots of them with the clear, show you what they look like outside in the light. But yeah, that's the brake calipers on the bike on the VTR 250 Cafe Racer build painted. I'll let them dry overnight. Hopefully they'll be dry enough for me to reinstall back on the bike. I'll chuck the wheels back on the bike and you can see what the brakes look like up against the silver brakes. You'll be able to see what the silver brakes look like up against the black forks and the black wheels. Thanks for watching. Please do us a favour. If you liked the video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Just waiting on some funds that are owed to me, and once I receive those funds, I'll be sending away the tank to get repaired and painted, and all the other parts I'll be sending away for paint. Once I have them back, I'll reinstall them, and then really all that will be left to do is to just figure out what I'm going to do with the rear subframe and the Cafe Racer seat, and there'll be a few little bits and pieces here and there. I think once the Cafe Racer style seat and subframe has been done, I don't think I'll be able to use this tail light and indicator sort of set up anymore. I'll probably have to change it. But yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.